I made this clip after reading some Facebook complaints about parking problems in Five Dock. In 2019, Canada Bay Council will hopefully be releasing an active transport strategy for our area, and hopefully they'll also be funding it. Active transport is defined as the movement of a chemical substance by the expenditure of energy against a gradient in concentration or an electrical potential across a plasma membrane. Hang on, that's the wrong definition. I call it getting your ass out of your car and getting to the shops by some other means, like walking, riding, scootering, skipping, whatever. It's usually pushed as a means of getting you fitter, but I see it as a great time saver. Just watch this. I'm on my way home from a 40-kilometre ride, and I feel like a nice baguette for lunch. I also need to get some cash from the ATM in Five Dock. I take East Street because riding up Great North Road in traffic can be nasty. It also cuts out 2 sets of lights on Great North Road. And here I am at the bakery, buying my baguette, or long roll as they call it. If there are any roadies watching, or that is mammals, note that you can use the bike for more than just training or a coffee shop ride. You can use it for functional transport too. I know you'll feel like a very untrendy nerd, but I'm sure you can get over it. From there, I walk the bike down the footpath to the bank and get some cash. And then I'm on the road, heading towards Abbotsford. Now I'm deliberately not speeding up the 30 seconds at this red light, because I want to ram home one of the causes of why it takes so long to get any shopping done: traffic lights. We're so used to it, we don't even factor it in. From Westpac to Warringah took 3 minutes. Notice how easy it would be for me to pull over and post a letter at the post office in Warringah, buy a paper from the newsagent, and pick up something from the chemist. I kept going, however, with it taking 6 minutes to get to the Abbotsford shops from the bank in Five Dock. And gee, look at all those cars crammed in around the shops in Abbotsford. Notice how everyone is desperate to park as close as humanly possible to their destination and walk as little as possible. I then reverse course and head back to Warringah, with it taking 3 minutes to get to Trovatino's. I was tempted to stop for a gelato, but kept on going. So all up, it took me 9 minutes to cycle from Five Dock to Abbotsford and then back to Warringah. When we drive to Coles from Warringah, it often takes 11 to 15 minutes to drive, park, and then get to the front door of Coles. That's because for short journeys, it often takes longer to find a parking spot and then walk to your destination than it does to do the driving part. So whilst a bike is slower on the road, it has no parking hassles. For most destinations, you can usually park right out the front. Now, if you've ever wondered what this yellow thing outside Dolcetti is for, it's actually not for hitching dogs. It's so you can chain your bike to it. It took me a while to figure that out too. However, it does make a very handy dog mining post whilst you duck in to get a takeaway coffee. At Zest, I can lean the bike up against these yellow railing things while I get a burger. Or I can lock it against this other yellow thing on the pole. Outside the IGA, it's common to see bikes leaning against the wall. This one isn't mine, and neither are these mobility scooters. Same with Vintage Sellers, you can just lean the bike up against the specials blackboards. It would be nice though to have something to lock the bike up to though. There's a perfect location for a bike rack outside the pharmacy on this concrete corner cushion where the sign is, otherwise you just have to lock your bike to the bench. The other pharmacy, news agency and post office are more of a problem though. There's nowhere along here where you can safely leave a bike. And then there's Trovatino's. Again, there's no bike parking, but that doesn't deter lots of people from riding here, stopping for a coffee and a feed, and just leaning their bikes up against the wall anywhere. The last photo is from the Harris Farm car park in Drummoyne. It's only 2.5 kilometres from Warringah, and these panniers have a capacity of 16 litres, about 2 shopping bags. I'm not going to claim that I can do all the shopping for a week for a family of 5 with these, but there are a lot of trips where I'm picking up next to nothing. For example, over the last couple of weeks I've done the following. I've gone to the vet on Lyons Road to buy a packet of pills for the dogs, and they fitted into my back pocket. I needed some replacement brake light globes for the car from the auto parts store on Great North Road. I can change my own light bulbs. Brake light bulbs are about the size of the end of your thumb. They're not very big. I had a medical appointment in Drummoyne, and all I had to carry home was a packet of prescription medicine. I needed to buy a USB thumb drive, and you know how small those things are. I needed a few groceries to round out dinner one night. Some tomatoes for a salad, a bottle of milk, a few other veggies and some other salad items. About a bag of stuff. Another night, I needed some quality toppings for homemade pizza. Some sliced ham from the Good To Go deli, 2 tins of Italian tomato for the sauce, chili olives, salami, some mozzarella, and a 1 kilo bag of pizza flour. In other words, less than a single bag of shopping. I needed some cash from the ATM. Now, all of these are examples of short trips, somewhere between 500 metres and 2.5 kilometres each way, that a lot of people would normally do by car. I found it was faster to do them all by walking or riding rather than by driving, because all the time-consuming hassles with parking were removed. There was no driving around the block looking for a spot, and I wasn't getting frustrated. Also got a lot of walking and riding done just by doing that too. For me, the solution to our local parking problems isn't building more car parks around 5 Dock or faffing around with changing parking restrictions. It's leaving the car at home and walking or riding when the distance is short and you don't need to lug much around. Now, there's nothing to stop you from driving if you want to, but please don't complain about the problems with parking. If you're driving a short distance, you just have to accept that you are part of the parking problem. And if you're driving around in your active wear, perhaps you might want to rethink what you're doing.